All right. Well, let's go ahead and move on to the slap that was heard around the world.
Play that clip again.
Oh Lord!
Go ahead, play the clip. That clip is incredible.
Okay. Man, maybe you should have broke this up, boy. It's gonna be like a whole lot of.
Oh, hold on.
Jada, I love you.
What you?
It was at this moment that he knew he fucked up.
Will Smith just smacked the shit out of me.
He needs some milk.
Out your fucking mouth. Wow, dude.
Look at
It was a
Lupita.
G.I.
Lupita
Jane
said,
joke.
ooh.
My wife's name out your fucking mouth. Hear the music. I'm out here. Uh-oh, Richard. Will Smith smacked the shit out of me. Will Smith smacked the shit out of me. Will Smith smacked the shit out of me. Smack the shit out of me. Smack the shit out of me. My wife's name out your fucking mouth. Will Smith smacked the shit out of me.
Not with Mary.
Will Smith smacked the shit out of me. 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 Smack the shit out of me. Smack the shit out of me. Will Smith smacked the shit out of me.
I had to play that again. That needs to be, jam that in your cars. But y'all, here we go right here, man. The slap heard from around the world. We had this, I guess, part 2 of this topic right here because we did an impromptu on Monday. Larry and Struggles gave their opinions on all this mess, and it was a very spirited discussion. We had up to 3,000 people in the live. Wow. Had 7 people here. It was quite nice. Now we got 349. Can we get to 400? Let's get those thumbs up. But we haven't heard from Miss Frankey. So I want to come into you before we get into all 11,000 of these articles that was in the email. We're not going to go line by line. That's going to take forever.
I was going to ask.
Yeah, no. Tell me how you feeling about this, ma'am? Like, you know, it was Chris Rock wrong for the comment. Was Will Smith wrong? Were they both wrong? The aftermath. Just give us a brief rundown of how this all this news hit you.
No, I thought, yes, the joke was in poor taste. I think there are way worse jokes that could have been made, especially by Chris Rock. I think that, yes, it was in poor taste. Was it the worst? No, it was not terrible. I think what makes me nervous is the protection that we're giving Will Smith over this outburst. I've seen a couple of things happen because I expressed myself on how I felt, and I felt like men slapping people abruptly at work is a red flag for me, right? Like, he's not protecting Jada. Jada was not in danger. He was angry, and I think a lot of it was a grasp for his masculinity that I feel like he felt like had been in question for quite some time. And what I really don't like, I mean, right. But what I really don't like is that people are using this for a couple things. One, to turn the narrative around because men hate Jada Pinkett Smith because of her freedom, right? So men have used her infidelity. Yeah, it wasn't her infidelity, and even he said it. They were both. They were both.
No, I'm talking about why men hate her.
No. Men are calling it infidelity.
Sorry, I'm gonna let you finish.
Will was also getting the buns at the same exact time. They were separated. The only difference was her buns was messy. No one brings up the fact that she was predatory, which I think is the real issue. No one brings that up. They all talk about infidelity. She did not cheat on this man. So that point is moot.
That's true. That's true.
He even said it out loud. He said, "Yo, she never cheated. We were separated. He was getting out those Margot Robbie cheats, but she was being quiet. She's being quiet. But the difference is August Alsina came out because he was deeply traumatized, and then that's where this is men's worst nightmare, to be embarrassed publicly. And there also, real quick about the G.I. Jane joke, she got a military jacket on and she bald. I'm just saying, like, the joke wrote itself. But also, like, them trying to make it seem like, oh, you know, he's a strong man protecting Black women, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, that's not true. If he really wanted to protect her, he's so big on the space. He could have had his moment and then later either one, let her speak about it and him support her on Instagram, on Twitter. He could have just as easily walked up and talked to him. But y'all, that's toxic masculinity. Someone saying you disrespected me with words and I'm gonna come back with violence immediately at work. That would be a red flag for me, because how long before I do something and then you slap me? You get what I'm saying? Like, and we all know he did it because he know Chris, because how small Chris is, because Chris is injured, all that stuff. Because anyone else would have said that joke, he would have been sitting there, sitting quiet. And I think there's all that stuff that it's just an overflow of toxic masculinity, that because we don't like Chris Rock a little bit and because of how we feel about Jada, people are using it as a lightning rod to bring up issues that aren't tied to this thing. And it's totally overshadowing a moment that Will worked so hard to get for so long. Like, say what you will, Will has been acting since he was 16 years old.
Will got his moment.
What moment? His moment.
What about the documentarians? What about Questlove and the documentarians that didn't even have their moment at all? Will Smith got his, but he's still getting his moment. We're still talking about it.
All we're talking about.
We're not talking about the Oscar.
We're not talking about Will winning his Oscar finally. We're not talking about any of that. We're talking about him slapping another man. His moment is gone. The Oscar, the pinnacle of his career, what he's been working for his career, the highest honor that he can get in that career, right? He had to apologize instead of talking about how hard he worked, instead of discussing whatever, having time. He had to sit up there and apologize. And now he had to withdraw from the Academy. He's doing all this extra stuff instead of him basking in the moment. And if he had went to Twitter, if he went up there and was like, I'm tired of people talking about Black women, whatever. If he had used his words, we would have been reading Chris Rock to filth right now. We would have been celebrating the Roots. We would have been celebrating Will, and then we would have been reading Chris Rock. No one's even talking about the joke, and the joke is so stupid. It's so dumb, and it's so easy, and it's so quiet. It's insane. And people calling her a witch.
I got you. And thank you, Frankie. Tyra, coming to you. You know, we got a good amount of your opinion on Monday, but there's been a lot of aftermath about the Academy, them asking Will to leave, and it's a bunch of he said, she said, and they're still trying to work it out. And this one right here, hold on, that's the wrong. I'm not. Why is it sharing that? I'm trying to share this right here. This is from the Washington Post. It says Will Smith refused to leave the Oscars after slapping Chris Rock, Academy says, but TMZ has an article saying that the Academy lied, according to their sources. So who do you believe? And do you even, I mean, like, who you believe in right now? Also, Will Packer, you know, he put his 2 cents in. He showed up on Good Morning America. I mean,
bad career move.
Really was that? He was the producer of the show.
Yeah, his PR person said, you know what, just keep your mouth shut. We'll put out a release.
So he's saying that the Academy didn't remove Will Smith because Chris Rock advocated for him to stay. But then Deadline came out with a report. Let me read this right here. Rock didn't want Smith to be removed, according to producers. Sources at Deadline, however, dispute Packer's version of events and claim that Rock was never asked if he wanted Will to be removed. So Tyra, like, who do you believe in this mess, this he said, she said telephone game? Is Packer telling the truth? Is Deadline? Is TMZ? Is the Washington Post? Tell us how you're feeling about all that. If you
First of all, that's just too much. It's too much. Like, it shouldn't even be all of that. But I really don't feel like anybody asked him to leave. I think they were basking in the situation, all the ratings, and once, you know, I think initially when it happened and everybody was all protect Black women and people were on Will's side, there wasn't much being said, or like really not like too much pushback at all. But as soon as, you know, everybody, I feel hurt and I just felt like I was slapped in that moment and all this other stuff, there's been like a whole shift to where now the majority is not quite on Will's side, especially I think Jim Carrey's talking, Amy Schumer, everybody's just talking about how this affected them. So it's like pushing for them to do something and like kind of turn the narrative to make it seem like they tried to do more than what they did. I really don't feel like anybody tried to do anything and they just let it happen. And that was just about it.
I agree. When this news came out, it was kind of, because Larry, you actually brought that to my attention earlier in the week. And I was like, that don't just sound right. You know, if they wanted him to leave, why would they then allow him to go up on stage? And I'm gonna come to you next, Larry. But in the article, it says things unfolded in a way we couldn't have anticipated. The Academy said in the statement in which it apologized to Rock and announced the disciplinary measures may be taken at the next board meeting on the 18th. We also recognize we could have handled the situation differently. I think they saving face. But Larry, what do you think about this, man? Do you think the Academy actually tried to get him to leave, or they lying their teeth out? How you feeling?
No, I think they're lying. I don't think they tried to get him to leave. I think if they wanted him to leave, he wouldn't have been in that building. There was, I mean, between the time of the slap and when he accepted an award was like 50 minutes.
Yes.
I mean, they could have easily have simply during one of the commercial breaks said security, or they could have gone over to him and said, Mr. Smith, you're being asked to leave the building. You don't have to leave on your own accord, but if you don't, we will have security come over and remove you. It would have been that simple. He wouldn't have wanted to have been dragged out. They could have done it during a commercial break and would have been that simple. And I mean, I don't know what they would have done as they would have had to call an audible on the Best Actor award, because obviously they, the guy who won was there, and all of a sudden now he's not there. But
they could have had one of the many brothers who went to console him, and not Chris Rock, Denzel, and them. They could have,
or they could have had Venus and Serena come up there and do it,
and take it. Yeah, agreed.
And hopefully they would have given Serena, Venus some double-sided tapes, and she was up there at the Oscars exposing herself every which way. I don't know what stylist she hired, but that stylist needs to be fired.
Larry,
I'm just saying you should.
Why are her titties bothering you?
It's not. It's the fact that she was up there falling out of her dress.
How many people fall out their dress? That's the shit now. Everybody falling out their dress.
Okay.
What you mean?
That stylist should not. That stylist should be shamed.
Let me look at her.
Well, let me read this. Will Parker walked up to Will Smith just after 8 p.m., around 35 minutes after the slap. That's when he told Will he could stay. According to our sources, Will won the Best Actor award around 5 minutes later. So yeah, I think it's all cap. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I
was trying to look for that nip slip.
Larry, you dragging it. I'm looking at these.
What do you mean?
You dragging it. Her titties are barely out.
Share your screen. Share your screen.
Can I share my screen?
Yeah.
Y'all, where I go? There we go.
There is no such thing as a barely out nipple at the Oscars.
Yo, it's no nipples, yo. Hold on. Okay, yeah, share screen. Y'all, I'm sorry. Let me send you the link. Let me show you the link, because it's talking about system. I'm
not even going in on Venus. I'm talking about her stylist should be fired.
She looks excellent in this dress, is what I'm saying. The dress is fine. I feel like Nicki Minaj. The dress is fine. Go ahead. The dress is fine. She looks great. They both look excellent, regal. Her nipples are fully covered. Okay, she got cleavage. Most of these men will hit.
What you're seeing, it's like it's a little out, but it's a pastry still covered.
I'm trying to see what it looks like.
I'm trying to see. I don't see no nipple. Go ahead and show me. Go ahead, show me. You told me in the age, what's her name wore J-Lo wore her entire crack out and the whole front out. You was mad then too, Larry?
I did
the Versace dress.
No, talking about the green one.
Yes,
that one. It was designed to do that. It was designed, and see that was what she wanted to do. This dress was not designed to have her nipples pop out.
How you know?
We are off track.
I'm confused.
I'll tell you why.
I had this conversation with my dad. He's like, your whole bag need to be. Yes.
I don't care about your back being out. I don't care if you want to have your back out. I don't care if you want to have cleavage down to your belly button, all that. But you know good and well when you're on national TV,
Frankie,
You're not supposed to have nipples out. They have standards and practices. You're not supposed to have your nipples out on TV. So we know for a fact
sometimes you can't help that. You ever wore a low cut dress? It's so hard.
Let's really back in.
That's why you get tape. Design it differently or get some tape.
But then the tape, when you sweat, the tape loses adherence. Like you can't.
Then don't wear it.
Hey man,
I can't.
Wear something else. No, you can't wear anything you want.
Hey, I'm muting both of y'all. Chill out. All right, Tyra, when I unmute you guys, Frankie, tell me who you think was lying or not, Will Packer or I had a Will. Who telling the truth, the Academy or did they really? Who? I can't even get my thoughts out.
Yeah, I get the gist. You're asking me if the Academy or Will Packer was lying. I think they're both lying. I think, yeah, like the Academy, the Oscars is locked down like the White House. There's no way somebody who needs to leave the Oscar is not getting out the Oscars. Will Packer, I think he's just talking. Chris Rock even said it. He's like, I couldn't process, like he was just trying to figure out what was going on. I got slapped by my homeboy at work in front of everyone. So I think they both was just trying to get in on the conversation and try to look good. But at the end of the day, they were both lying. And I agree with Tyra. Like the Academy, no one cared until the white women started crying and making it about them. Like, oh, what if it was Betty White? What? She's dead. What are you talking about? Will Smith slap Betty White? Like, why is she even in this fucking conversation? And I
wouldn't have done that to a white person because the consequences would have been entirely different. We know
apparently,
that.
But everyone's defense is that Will was so full of love for his wife that he saw red and ran up and slapped the shit out of his friend of 20 years. So
his wife has so much love, she has to share it with other people.
Oh, Larry.
Why are you making it one-sided, Larry? Let it go.
They were both sharing. He admitted it. The only difference, and that's the thing, that men are villainizing her for doing the same thing Will did.
No, men are villainizing him too. Men have been calling him a punk and everying else. They just been going about it in a different way. They villainize her and say she's a hoe, and they villainize him and say he's a punk.
You calling him a hoe because he too was sleeping around.
It's different. That's why I just said, I just addressed. I said it's different. They call the women hoes and the men's punk and the men punks.
So, but you yourself just slut shamed her.
All right,
I'm saying he's a punk too.
I'm coming to you after I do this super chat, okay?
Right.
Where did it go? Oh, Blur Forever. Thank you so much. Great show per usual. Let me play a little video or something. I ain't did that in a minute.
What a money reside. What a money reside. What a money reside. What a money reside.
Thank you so much, Blur Forever. We really do appreciate it. And Larry, I'm coming to you. I want to know what are your thoughts about Chris Rock's comments? Because he broke his silence. I honestly don't know if you heard it or not, but let me go ahead and share this real quick right here and let me know how you feel about it, man.
How was your weekend? I don't have like a bunch of shit about what happened. Stuff you came to get at. I had like a whole show I wrote before this weekend, and I'm still kind of processing what happened. So at some point I'll come to the station I'm gonna tell some jokes. I'm gonna talk about it's nice to just be out.
All right. So that was he didn't say too much about it, but Larry, I want to ask you how you feel about that specifically. I don't know if you heard in the background. There was some people that was like, fuck Will Smith, fuck Will Smith. And doing that and other shows, he was telling them to chill out on that. And I want to know how you feel about that, especially on top of what his brother Tony Rock said. But I don't know. You got an opinion on this so far? You think Chris is handling it the right way? You think he should have said something then, or he doing what he needs to do?
Yes. Let me before I speak on that, let me just address one thing. I do want to say that that I'm not always going hard on women. That I believe women are my equal, as men are their equals. Men and women are equals, and as equals, I will talk about you and what you have done wrong, just like I will talk about men. It may be with different words. I may call you a hoe and him a punk, but it's going to be talked about. I'm going to talk about you just the same, because I do believe we are all equals. I'm not giving anybody any slack because they have a vagina versus a penis. That's not how I roll. Now, as far as what Chris Rock said, he didn't really have anything to say about it. Like he said, he was still processing. I hope he comes through with like 15 minutes of a good set, just ripping the crap out of him soon, because I think the dude was, I mean, there's no excuse for what was happening. He was assaulted at work. He was on the job and he was assaulted, and it was horrible what happened. It was just what happened. There's no excuse for what happened. I think Chris is a stand-up dude, because he could just tell Will, hey, you know what? I'm pressing charges. And I mean, what do you do then? It's not like he has a defense. I mean, Chris Rock was on stage, hands behind his back, and dude walked up and just straight assaulted him. There's no defense. It's all on tape from 100 different angles. So,
right on.
You know, I think Chris is being a stand-up dude right now and just saying, no, I don't want to prosecute. I'm not pressing charges. He's moving on. He's telling his jokes. I think, like he said, he'll do something funny. I think the way his brother went after him, I think that's what any brother would do. If somebody hit my brother, I'm coming at you. If I'm a stand-up comedian, if I have a microphone, if I have a platform, I'm coming for you. I'm coming for you and your raggedy ass hoe. That's what I'm saying. If that's what happened, that's what I'm going to say. Because that's what it is. I mean, I'm not calling her that. I'm just saying that if that's what happened, I'm going to call your wife everything that I can think of to call your wife, because that's how I'm feeling, because you came after my brother. I'm going to call you everything I can think of to call you, because you came after my brother.
Frankie,
and that's and Tony, and then here's one line, I'm gonna stop and I'll go. That's what he should do. That's what, like, as big as Chris Rock is and the position that Chris Rock is in, he should just let his brother do that. That's what you do. You have and for lack of a better phrase, a good attack dog that can go do your dirty work. It's like running for president. You can't say all the bad things, but your super PAC can.
Thank you, sir. Frankie, do you think he should have pressed charges? Chris?
You gonna have to mute Larry once I start talking. Let me tell you something. I think it's within his right to press charges. I'm sorry. I'm just so deeply uncomfortable with how much we're bringing up Jada when she has absolutely nothing to do with this. Like, whether because, whatever, even if she looked at him, she said I was uncomfortable, whatever. This is all Will's move. And I think a big thing about this is
can't take her out of it without her.
I told you he was going to have to mute him. I think the biggest thing is Larry. And Larry, you said that you feel like we're all equal, but I disagree, because the language that you use suggests otherwise. Even if you're talking about people the same amount, when you use a language, when you call one person a hoe and the other a punk for doing the same thing, that suggests that there is a difference in what they are. And even if that's not how it is in your head, that's how everyone else is going to process it and receive it. Because it's like, and whoa, I was quiet the whole time you was talking.
You were, my bad, my bad.
The entire time you were talking.
You were, my bad.
So like it's and the way that I help men understand the hierarchies with white people, right? If a white man is talking about, let's say, sports, and LeBron James comes and does an executed a play, and he says he's very athletic, and then I can't think of a white player, but a white player goes up there and he says he is very smart. All it's microaggressions like that pushes the narrative and changes things. You brought up Jada multiple times, like everyone else is, and Jada should not be in this conversation. The whole point was Chris Rock made a joke about a man's wife who he feels some sort of ownership for and felt like he should, and felt triggered for whatever. And some of that is coming from the language that we use when we're describing them. Some of their personal life came out where they had a mutual understanding and they were like, let's date outside of the two of us. But only one of them did, the person they were dating was hurt and spoke out. And we took that as not, oh, Jada was a little predatory there. We said, Will is a punk for letting someone else touch his wife when there was many women touching Will. And I think it's things like that that's like changing our perspective, and it's bringing in or more so shining a light on things. I don't think Tony Rock, look, I get it. That's his brother. You're right. If somebody slapped my brother, I'm wilding out, but not on Jada. I'm wilding out on Will. I'm talking, there's so much I could talk about Will, and I'm just talking about Will. I'm not talking about Jada. I'm not calling her a raggedy ass hoe, because she's not. She's Jada Pinkett Smith. And no matter what, she is a formidable woman. And just because she slept with you know what I mean? Like, we call her a hoe and shit. Why?
Because she's a sexual predator. She was sleeping with her son's boyfriend.
You think that Will Smith was never a sexual predator?
Right.
It was.
Wait, they both were.
With women.
But
They've all done it. They've all done it. So you can't stand on that. You can't stand on that. They're all sexual predators. They all go for people they're all dating PAs and shit like that. Relax, they're all doing it.
Tyra, I want to. What do you think about this right here?
Absolutely nothing. Because if you think you're gonna walk up on this stage, this ain't the motherfucking Oscars. And if you walk up here, you ain't nominated for these motherfucking hands.
Everybody got shit to say when they not there, yo. Everybody got big mouths. Come see me across the country.
Yeah, I don't even want to play no more because I can't wait to get my opinion on that. But Tyra, yeah, the link is in the description if you want to keep hearing the whole thing. Tyra, tell me how you feel about that, because I'm next and I can't.
I was so tired when I saw it. Like, I'm tired of the situation in general, but for Tony Rock to come out like that and cursing at Jada, I feel, Frankey, I love you. I like how the same sentiments about Jada, like there's so much blame constantly being thrown her way for something that essentially has nothing to do with her. He went up there all by himself. Tony Rock and that whole rant, it didn't feel like I'm sticking up for my brother. It felt more like some type of publicity situation, like everybody else kind of milking the situation for what it is, the Jim Carreys, the Amy Schumers, or I can't say Jim because I actually kind of like what Jim Carrey had to say, but just everybody, I think Cheryl Underwood, everybody's talking about what they would have done, how they would have reacted, and this is how this is affecting me, when this is solely, their problem and, for them to handle. I personally feel like, which, we would never want to see because it's just a bad look, but he has every right to. I was hoping low key that he would come out and press charges. I swear. I really just cause it's justified, because if it was anybody else, this whole narrative would be different. There's so many people just solely concerned about Will. For a minute there, nobody was talking about Chris Rock. All the memes and all of that shit rolled out. It's a joke, and everybody was rooting. I'm like, he was physically hurt. And unlike Frankey, or I think you too, Brandon, you thought the joke was more, like poor taste. I didn't mind the joke. It wasn't funny. It didn't ruffle any feathers for me. I just thought the joke was just
horrible.
It wasn't
a bad joke, but it wasn't a good joke.
I thought it was funny. I thought it was an entirely appropriate joke for an award show. It was a movie reference joke at an award show. It was funny.
And I know he could have went in depth, and I wish I kind of wish he really dug into that shit. Like, what did you really want to say, Chris? Because you got slapped for nothing. And I just feel like the narrative is being switched to something totally different. I am very glad with how Chris is handling himself.
I'm not gonna hold you. I thought Tony Rock died until I saw. I was like, he's still alive.
I didn't think that.
It was Charlie Murphy I was thinking about, but I was like, Tony Rock is dead, right?
I didn't think that, but this is the most publicity. The Oscars. Nobody who talks about the Oscars this much. And it's just sad that we're not talking about the young woman who won from West Side Story, or I think Samuel Jackson won an Oscar, right?
Yeah, he won
Lifetime
like
achievement?
a like lifetime achievement award.
Yeah, nobody's talking about any of that. So it's just a stolen moment. And for all that's happened here, especially with the victim, because Chris Rock is the actual victim, I would completely press all kind of charges. I'm sorry.
I got money now.
Just to make sure, like, you let you know you can't do this shit again. You cannot just roll up on somebody.
Yeah, but
I promise, with how viral this went and how explosive this is going to start a chain effect of people just rolling up on people. I swear.
But Tyra, do you want to?
I think if we listen to that clip,
and be the one who puts Will Smith in jail, that's crazy. And not just that, I think I agree with you, and I think that's why comedians are going so hard right now, because this sets a precedent, right? Like, if he gets away with this relatively unscathed, then all comedians are open. But the thing that kills me about that is these the same people who was just defending Dave Chappelle 3 months ago. I just heard y'all all I caught y'all in the act. I just heard y'all all protecting Dave Chappelle over his trans jokes and was like, they're just jokes. He's a comedian, And now the narratives have shifted to, nah, someone talk crazy to you, you gotta throw these hands.
It's alopecia. Hold on. She could have had cancer, you know.
I'm gonna give my commentary on the Tony Rock thing, then I'm gonna grab the super chat, and then I'm gonna come to Larry and get his opinion on something else. I agree with you, Tyra. Tony Rock has every right to defend his brother, but his whole spiel I thought was whack as hell. Kind of how I kind of feel like Will Smith wouldn't have slapped nobody else. He only slapped him because it was Chris. I feel like Tony Rock wouldn't say this to Will Smith's face or his wife's face. I feel like he's just doing this because he's on the stage and he's protected. And now for sure, nobody's going to walk up and slap the brother when the other brother was just slapped a week ago. So he has like double protection. So, I mean, he has every right to say it. It just didn't seem really genuine to me, because you wouldn't say that to Will Smith's face, and you call it. And I mean, whether you like Jada or not, she does not deserve to be called a bald-headed B word. That was just really low to me right there. And so I was annoyed by his commentary. This super chat by AMBW channel, $20. Here's my final thoughts on this drama. Will made a mistake. It was wrong. Correct. I agree. Shocking and unnecessary. That being said, he is human, just like the rest of us. I agree. Let him grow. I definitely agree. Mature from it. No need to cancel his career. I definitely agree with that. I still love Will Smith over here, and I'm not canceling him.
Nobody
thank you so much.
First of all,
thank you so much for the
that's a real thing. Like, canceling someone is not a real thing in my book. You can't, like, how can you ever like cancel Will Smith, especially over this? You just can't. But like, does this mean like, okay, we just act like it didn't happen and say, well, you know, he just had a moment. He needs, you know, time to mature. Let's just all move on. There's going to be no type of repercussions at all for the situation whatsoever. And I'm saying, like, we don't want him to lose his Oscar. I'm very much so against him losing his Oscar. So if we're not losing the Oscar, what is there left to do besides, you know, press a couple of charges? And I'm not saying, you know, I want to see Will Smith in jail, but just something like
he's out of the academy. He's out of the academy now.
And
I mean, that doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, Larry, you're
never get an Oscar again.
Larry, you're
no, he can't. Yes, he can.
Larry, hold on, man. I'm coming to you anyway. And so I want to know about that specifically. You can comment on the Tony Rock thing you want, or this. That's the wrong damn thing. Hold on, y'all.
I was like, that is Tony Rock.
This right here from Variety, talking about Will Smith resigns from Academy over Chris Rock Oscar slap. Again, guys, if you're watching this via live on the replay, there's a link to this down in the description. And again, I'm coming to you first, Larry. Will Smith says, the list of those I have hurt includes Chris, his family, many of my dear friends and loved ones, all those in attendance and global audiences at home. Smith said, I betrayed the trust of the Academy. I deprived other nominees and winners of their opportunity to celebrate and be celebrated for their extraordinary work. I am heartbroken. I want to put the focus back on those who deserve attention for their achievements and allow the Academy to get back to the incredible work it does support creativity and artistry in film, he stated, concluding with change takes time, and I am committed to doing the work to ensure that I never again allow violence to overtake reason. And so, Larry, I'm coming to you, and I want to know a couple of things. First of all, the Academy was already going to start investigations, and we know that they're going to meet on the 18th. It was rumored that Will Smith could face suspension, expulsion, or be penalized with other sanctions. So with him resigning from the Academy right now, do you feel that that was the best move, or do you think he should have waited to see what the Academy was going to do? Also, he apologized in this article right here, but he also apologized on Instagram. I want to know if you respect his apology on Instagram or not. The floor is yours, sir. Let us know how you feel.
I think just about everything Will Smith has done through this whole thing has been in poor taste. And this idea of resigning from the Academy is just a joke. It is. If you're going to do that, that's one of those things that should have just been done quietly and not even mentioned, because now they're trying to pump it up as if this is some big gesture he's making, some big gesture of contrition to say, I know I'm wrong, and look, I'm resigning from the Academy. That doesn't mean anything. The only thing that means is he can no longer vote. That's it. He can still go to the award shows. He can still present. He can still win awards, all of that. He just can't vote. That's basically it. And so,
you sure about that?
Yeah, that's now the Academy can later say, hey, maybe we're taking your Oscar back, because they did change the rules. And I think it was in 2018 or 19 or something like that. So maybe they can vote and decide that they are going to withdraw the Oscar from him. I mean, awards are given, they can be taken away. It's just, if you win a Presidential Medal of Honor and you do something later, they can rescind that honor if they want to. If you receive a Medal of Valor in the military and you get dishonorably discharged for doing something stupid, they can rescind your medals. Just because something was given doesn't mean it can't be taken back.
So what should he have done? So what should he have done?
But then that comes into question everybody else who has
everyone. Harvey Weinstein has 81 Oscars. So I'm just saying, for them to take him off, for them to take his Oscar and not to take anyone else's is crazy and racist.
First of all, I'm not saying that they should take his Oscar. I'm saying they could take his Oscar. And I started off by saying they changed the rules a couple of years ago. So those people that had received their Oscars prior to, they're grandfathered in. They're grandfathered into a level of protection that people moving forward are not. So yes, Harvey Weinstein may have 80-something Oscars with his films over the years, and maybe all of them are protected because they didn't have those rules in place, But I mean, let's just be real. The Academy, the Oscars, Hollywood is a place that is full of nothing but corrupt, morally bankrupt individuals who don't care about your immorality or anything else, as long as you're bringing in money. I mean, let's not forget that, just as somebody mentioned it in the comments too, just a few years back, Roman Polanski won an Oscar. And this sicko pervert pedophile could not even show up to the awards show, because the moment he stepped foot in the U.S., he would have been arrested.
Yes.
I mean, let's not forget these people nominated, voted, and awarded the most prestigious award you can give to a filmmaker to a known pedophile, because he made money. And so let's just not forget the people for whom we are talking about. They are a bunch of morally corrupt, repugnant human beings. And for people to get up there and stand and clap and give them a standing ovation, some people can be upset by that, but look who their audience, look who it is that they're with. He's one of them. So I mean, do I think they should take his Oscar back? I don't really care, to be honest with you. Take it, don't take it. I don't really care. I know that people are upset because if they're going to say, well, this would suck if the first Oscar that got taken for somebody because of their behavior happens to be a black person, it would. It also sucks that it happened to be a black man that walked up on stage and assaulted another black man in front of 1 billion people.
Thank you, sir. Frankie, how do you feel about his resignation? You think that was the right move, or you think he should just chill?
Yeah, I think he should have been quiet. I agree. I think that the fact that the question of whether or not he should keep his Oscar is dumb. Honestly, because they're still giving Oscars to way worse people. Right. He doesn't have a record. yeah, he broke the code of conduct, but there are plenty of people that they've been showing, right? That they've been showing that broke the code of conduct multiple times. And to your point, Larry, there are pedophiles, rapists, things like that, who are withstanding Oscars. And I think also he already has it. So if you're retroactively pulling his Oscar, then the same should be said for anyone else. It's already retroactive, even though it's recent from Will. Then everyone else needs to be pulled into question. And I think that's something that we should remember. I think that it will blow over. I think if Will was quiet, but that's the thing, Will overshares. And that's why we hear Will don't know when to be quiet. They don't know when to be quiet, and they don't have Kris Jenner there to help them spin it crazy. They need to hire her, honestly, I think. But it's a poor decision.
I'm trying to keep it in order, man. I don't want to keep you guys here all night, and so I'm gonna wrap it up here in a little bit. But Tyra, do you feel this is the right move, or you think he should have been fired as well?
I felt like, when you about to get fired at a job, it's just like, you know what, I'm gonna quit before y'all fire me so I can save face. That's what it felt like. It felt like, you know what, y'all investigating and just seeming all indecisive about what y'all want to do with me, and we're gonna, look into it a bit more. But we know something has to be done because white people are crying white tears. So we gotta do something. So it's just like, you know what, before y'all even say what y'all gonna do, I'm gonna fire myself. I'm gonna step back myself. Now, I don't know what all that, because Larry said like that means everything but, so it doesn't really feel like, I don't know if that's, for certain, but I'm gonna trust Larry. He has on a Malcolm X sweatshirt, but I don't know if that's all, set to be true. But if that is, that's not, anything too substantial. I think he's just trying to, save face. I just wish after the situation, if he didn't handle himself like that night and we didn't see him getting jiggy with it and all that good stuff, like all the celebration and stuff, it was just like when it became an issue and the backlash happened, it's just like, oh, okay, well, I have to do damage control. Let me put out this apology. Nothing has really seemed genuine since the whole slap situation. I just feel like people are all over the place because they don't know what to do next, but they know essentially he has to answer for the situation. Hey, boo. But it's just like, you know what? Hey, I have to answer. Something's going to be done. But before, they dish out anything, let me just really, let me back out myself. I'm going to take my coat, put my finger up and leave in church and just leave myself. So if I fire myself, then you can't. It's kind of like he was trying to look noble. And I'm like, who cares? Like, it's just not. And it's in poor taste. The same thing with the apology. Like, that shouldn't have been, you slapped me in person, apologize to me in person. I don't want to see none of that shit. Not to say that he didn't. I don't know.
And Larry, you next, but I'm, of course, before we get out of here, I'm gonna let everybody get their final thoughts to just let it all out there. And so that's coming up. And again, I'm not gonna keep us all here all night because I don't want to go over each of these myself. But just real quick, the guy, the Summer Soul, they're more, this article's down below if you want to read it yourself, but they're more mad at Chris Rock than they are with Will Smith. So I definitely think you should read this if you get a chance. Also on Monday, we talked about if we thought that would this affect Will Smith's career, and I remember all of us saying no.
Yeah.
And we may have been wrong because this article from the Hollywood Reporter says Netflix is backing away from Will Smith's film Fast and Loose. They have the exclusive. This is a movie directed by David Leitch, and they don't know if they want to move forward with it. And so that's I didn't think anything like this was going to happen, but this article is in the comment section below as well. The project has already lost its director David Leitch before the infamous Oscar slap, and now the streaming service has quietly moved the film to the back burner in the award ceremony wake, according to sources. So if you guys want to read that, it's very short. You can as well. And another respected actor Denzel commented on this. Who are we to condemn? They're saying when the devil ignores you, then you know you're going to do something wrong. The devil goes, oh no, leave him alone. He's my favorite. Conversely, when the devil comes at you, maybe it's because he's trying to do something right. And for whatever reason, the devil got a hold of that circumstance that night. Washington told Jakes on stage. That way, did he say Jakes? Okay, that does say Jakes. Okay, I got you. That's right. Fortunately, there were people there, not just me, but others. Tyler Perry came immediately right over there with me, said some prayers. I don't want to say what we talked about, but the grace of God go any of us. Who are we to condemn? I don't know all the ins and outs of the situation, but I know the only solution was prayer. The way I see it, Washington said on Saturday, and that was at a leadership summit with TD Jakes. And so, Larry, you're next, sir. You can talk, and this is that fast and loose thing, but we can go ahead and wrap it up, man. You can talk as long as you want. You can get it all out. You can talk about him. You can talk about Netflix backing away. You can talk about Denzel comments. You can talk about the other people mad at Chris Rock. You can talk about whatever you want to talk about. The floor is yours, sir. Let us have it. Get it out. Then I'm gonna come to Frankie. Then I'm gonna come to Struggles, and I'm gonna wrap it up. And we're gonna go to bed. So, Larry, the floor is yours, sir. Talk about whatever you want.
All right. Well, first of all, let me address something in the comments. Somebody said I should clear up how I feel about Black women. So I will. I will tell you I love Black women, married one, and I will tell you that I hold Black women to the same standard that I hold everyone else, and that means sometimes I'm not gonna like the things that they do, and it is what it is. Some people are gonna get mad at me about it when I call it out. Other times, whatever. It is what it is. Now, I do want to say, because I thought Will Smith should have apologized to Chris Rock in the moment. That would have been the right thing to do since he did what he did in the moment. I know
Agreed.
I know I've cut you guys off at times, and so I will apologize for that. That is something I am working on. I will say that in the stream in the moment. So, but as far as do I think it's going to hurt his career? No. That the movie with Fast and Loose with David Leitch, he pulled out of that a week before the Oscars. So it wasn't like he pulled out of it because of the slap. He was already out. And so I think it just Netflix backing away. I think it's a real convenient PR stunt to say we're backing away because of what he did, when really what they're doing is trying to find a replacement director. They're interviewing directors, trying to find somebody. So yeah, of course they backed away. They can't go on. They can't go forward with production. They don't have anybody at the helm. So, I mean, it's that's one of those things where I talk about how Hollywood is so corrupt and sinister and repugnant in so many ways. They're putting this out there as if they are as if they're taking some sort of moral high ground, as if they're trying to say to the world, we're so offended and disgusted by what Will Smith did that we're pushing this movie back. When really the fact of the matter is you don't have anybody to direct the damn movie. And you're trying to find a replacement director. That's all it is. And they will find one, and the movie will get made, and people are going to watch it. It's going to be a huge success. It is what it is. That's kind of where I'm at. As far as what Denzel's saying, who are we to condemn? I mean, we all do it. I mean, yes. I mean, if we want to go biblical, we can all say he who is without sin cast the first stone. None of us are without sin. We've all done and said stupid stuff. So yeah, maybe none of us should condemn, but we all do. And Denzel has, I have. I mean, I know people are upset. Some people are saying they were upset at Denzel and Tyler Perry for getting up and hugging him. People were upset with Bradley Cooper for going over there and putting his hands on his shoulders. These are people who are friends. I mean, if I'm at the Oscars and my friend smacked the crap out of somebody, even if he's dead wrong, I'm concerned about my friend in that moment. Now, later on, when we're sitting around talking on the phone or at his house drinking beers, I might be like, yo, man, you really, really effed up like big time, right? Like you're going to do some work to fix this. But in that moment, I'm riding with my friend, And anybody who's been out anywhere and seen your friend get into something when you know they're wrong, sometimes you just have to try and push your friend back and say, yo, bro, you're wrong on this. I got your back, but you're wrong. Let's get out of here, or let's just try and chill out. That's what you do. I'm not gonna throw my friend under the bus and just sit there and look at him like, ooh, he did that. That's a terrible thing. I'm not gonna say anything to him. I'm just gonna let his whole house burn down and watch. Not doing that. You're muted, B.
Mm-hmm.
My bad. I said I appreciate it. Is anything else? Anything else?
Once again, for everybody, I love Black women. You don't believe me? That's on you.
Women. All right. You sure? Let's get it out. All right. Going once.
I love Black women enough to love one. How about that? To love one. I love Black women enough to love one.
Cool. Frankey, final thoughts, man, on everything. Anything you want to, it's floor is yours. Get it out.
Yeah. I think that I think first and foremost, this Will situation has shined a light on how much people love to hate on Black women. I do want to say that. That we are the topic of conversation. We are so easily hate. It's so easy to hate us and to talk bad about us, even when we ain't did nothing. At the end of the day, Jada ain't do nothing. I ain't see her say it. I saw her like make a face at Will, but I didn't see her like she didn't do nothing. She didn't do nothing. Larry said he married to a Black woman. He know you make the face, and then it's up to you after. We could talk at home later, but I think that it's very telling. I think I think the tone of the conversations that we've had overall is how corrupt Hollywood is, and just even with Monique, it's how you're seen, how you're portrayed, and that's what's king. So like, what we're seeing with both these actors is like, what does the public view me as, and how can I use that for, like, everyone's just using this to help propel themselves. And it's gross.
Tony Rock. Yeah.
Tony Rock.
Yeah.
The Oscars. Okay. Netflix. All these people, Will Packer, all these people who are speaking on it. And some of it is backfiring, right? Like Zoe Kravitz and stuff like that. But everyone's like, Zoe Kravitz was like, yeah, apparently we assault people at the Oscars. It had nothing to do with it. She posted her dress and was like, and then people started pulling receipts about things and started like canceling her. But I think it's an excellent look at like how the community, the work that we need within ourselves, because there's a lot of work that needs to be done here. I do not like the way people are talking about Jada right now, and it really hurts me, because it's like, it's the same. I know that the way people turn on Jada in the same respect that we turned on Monique is it makes me scared sometimes. I'm not gonna hold you. Like, it's like, yo, the same thing could happen to me, because at the end of the day, I'm a Black woman. And if I get someone, I'm bitter, I'm gross, I'm this, I'm that, I'm a hoe, I'm a this, because I get someone upset or I don't move favorably. And at the end of the day, I mean, you could kiss your teeth, Larry. She ain't do shit. She did not
kissing my teeth.
Who kissed their teeth? Who kissed their teeth? You?
I didn't do that.
That was you? Sorry, that was you? No,
See?
Somebody kissed their teeth.
Always attacking the Black man first.
Because you was the one,
the Black man is the worst.
Yo, because you've been the one cutting me.
I'm messing with you. That was totally a joke.
I'm sorry.
That was totally a joke.
Okay.
It was not me. What I said, my response was totally a joke.
I'll come back. I'll bring it back. I've been ready. I was like, who kissing? Y'all, I'm Caribbean. So when I hear kissing teeth, I'm like,
are you Caribbean? Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah. Kissing the teeth is a sentence.
Keep going.
But yeah, I mean, I think it's something for us to look at. I really think that it's something for us to look at, because it is really hard for y'all. And I think if anything, me and Tyra were speaking to it. It is really hard. It's really hard for us. Even when we're right, we're wrong. If we are expressing ourselves, if we're asking for something, we're wrong. Monique was asking for something loudly, but she was asking for something. You get what I'm saying? I think Dave Chappelle asked for the same thing, and we're applauding him when he said this is not what I wanted, and he went away and he came back and he got 15 mil after being off the grid for 10 years. So I just think that there's something to be said about the way that we move and the repercussions, and how much better we have to be as Black women, because even if we are even adjacent to an issue, we're going to be dragged down and pulled through the mud like crazy.
Right on. Thank you so much for that, Frankey. I appreciate it. And you said something I was gonna comment when it was my turn. Hopefully it'll come to me. But Tara, coming to you now, ma'am. What are your final thoughts? Get it all out. Anything you want
That
to
was
say.
lovely, Frankie. She should have wrote that down. That was nice.
Just be recorded, right? This will be
That was
live.
nice.
Check that later.
Really, I've been eating. I was hungry. I'm sorry.
I said, who can? I felt it. It came out. It came out the diaphragm. I'm sorry.
Oh gosh. Okay.
See, and put it on me.
Yo, Larry, because you cut me off at least
It's
5 times, so I
Larry.
knew it was you. I was like, I know
it.
It's Larry. My bad, yo. I apologize to you.
I love everybody who's been on this panel. Even though you may feel away at times, Larry, I love Larry and his opinions. Like, everything does not have to be one-sided. It's great to have open discussions, whether you agree or disagree with what somebody's saying. But struggle wasn't playing. I wasn't playing with that food. I was hungry.
It's late, y'all. We not in Cali. We on the East Coast. It's late.
But I feel like I cannot wait for the situation to blow over. I don't want to hear too much about anybody. Oh, we're about to back off of Will. Is something going to happen to Will? Will is going to be fine. He is going to prevail. Everybody who's backing out right now, it's just because it's convenient, and it's not a good look right now to be associated with him at the moment. But as soon as everything cools off, he will definitely be back in effect, and Will. Leave Jada alone. That lady has been through enough. It was already a year of entanglement. Leave that lady alone. Leave her alone. She has received enough backlash. She is separated from this situation. Leave her alone. Now, as far as the Chris Rock situation,
August is doing.
Not well.
No, let him finish.
He's not doing okay.
As far as Chris Rock, I applaud him so much, because anybody can say what they would have done after the fact or call him, oh, he's a this, he's a that, he should have done this, I would have done that. But once again, you're not that caliber of a star and in the moment, because if he would have retaliated, it would have just been another group of black niggas fighting on TV. So it wouldn't have been niggas. It wouldn't have been a good look. So I'm glad that he didn't do that. I do not want Will Smith's Oscar to be taken away. I think that's absolutely crazy, especially with, even if it's, the past and this is the new law as far as the Oscars are concerned. Leave that man and his Oscar alone. I feel like it's just so hard to see, what the repercussions should be. I really wish, and I don't want this to be in, an exploited moment more so than it is, but I would love to see them sit down and really talk, because I feel like we don't need no red table talk, though. This is going to be real, like, oh, this was a whole charade just for us to get more episodes of red table talk. But just to see, because I feel like he's not pressing charges because he understands, Will's perspective and what he's going through, or whatever's happening for the speech, and for him to even retaliate in that way over a harmless joke. And I would just love to hear both perspectives, but hopefully we get that. But Will and how he's rocking in the resignation and all that other extra shit, he just needs to sit down. He never sits down. He always has, something to say about something, and wants to, okay, well, I did this for this reason, and I'm sorry. Just go away. Go away. You can go away and come back, and you will still be Will Smith. You can go away and take a break. Clearly, with all of the aggression you have in your chest, you need to go take a break. You and your wife and her smooth head, go lay down. Go lay down. Go lay down.
Oh, Will's gonna come and smack you.
Slap the shit out of you.
He's gonna go make a gangster rap album.
Beloved. It's all about, I don't know who's anybody, manager or whoever it is that writes the messages for what you're supposed to say, and your little PR people. Clearly those people went away because people are just going off of their own agenda. It's just not a good look for anybody. The only person who's handling themselves appropriately is Chris Rock. He has not said a whole lot. Chris Rock is going to sit in whatever show he has coming up next. They're going to buy all those tickets and show up, and he is going to flip this the way he needs to, instead of Will Smith trying to do damage control. Just go lay down and just rub on Jada's head and just rekindle whatever y'all lost for this to be a bad marriage for life. Just let that shit go. That's
like I said before, I give it 2 years.
Right on. Thanks, Tyler.
What?
All right. See, I'm finna throw some gas in the fire that nobody talked about tonight. I'm gonna tell y'all who's really behind all this right here, y'all. Y'all ain't heard this. It ain't Will. It ain't Chris. It ain't Packer. It ain't Tony Rock. It's Pfizer. And they're
Why is that?
the Pfizer brand the Oscars out to promote alopecia drug.
Damn. I'm not gonna hold you.
We got the
That would be
article right
incredible.
here. It's
That'd be
Pfizer.
incredible,
No,
yo.
don't touch
Big
it.
Pharma.
No,
Big Pharma.
No.
It's a
No.
conspiracy.
Absolutely stop. Because I swear since this situation has happened, I have seen more advertisements for alopecia than
ever.
I swear, they've been popping up out of nowhere.
You know how common alopecia is, especially with Black women?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
It's so crazy. I'm like, now it's saying we all know.
It's all about alopecia. I have been seeing it
Oh,
so
my
much.
God.
Damn.
I haven't seen it so much. Like Brandon,
He's a fool for that one.
No.
Brandon, that's jokes. So, yo, that ass though, maybe. Because you know how people were calling it a hoax for a second? Like it's not real.
Well, you know, it's gotta be a hoax. It's gotta be strong Black women.
That's a good one, though.
You just relax. She could never have alopecia. Black women don't get that. Like, no, she had it. Did everybody know about it? Clearly not, because I see more and more people every day defending. It's like we didn't even know about it, which just makes what he did even more justified. Like people thought it was a target against her. Like he's joking about her alopecia. I didn't know anything about it. But I just, I can't wait for this to blow over. Like, it's just, it seems like it's going to be drawn out for so long.
I'm supposed to be talking.
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry.
No.
Well, in the span of Larry talking, I had a drink while I was sitting here.
It's all good. No, thank you, Reggie. I appreciate it. No, in all seriousness, I had to do that. I was talking to somebody else about that. Okay. The only thing I remember what I wanted to say to you, Frankey, about only thing I'm gonna bring about Jada is this. I am just disappointed that like Will and Jada can do whatever they want. It's their marriage, it's their business. They both were cheating on each other. It was a disagreement that was separated, so they're both to blame. I'm just disappointed that she had to put it all out there on the Red Table Talk. I just wish that she would have kept that between them. You didn't have to tell the whole world.
She did. August told it.
Right, true. But they didn't have to. They look, you're Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith. It's August. People are going to believe you. All you had to be is like, August doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. He's tripping. He's lying. And everybody would have believed you, and that would have been it. You didn't have to, okay, he said something, so we have to. I just wish that they would have kept it to themselves. I'm not judging them as far as who's sleeping around. That's their business. I just wish they would have kept it private. That's all I have to say about Jada. As far as the Will Smith apology, it was messed up that he didn't apologize at the ceremony, and I did like the words on his Instagram post. However, if that is the only apology he's going to give, in my opinion, that's not enough. I think somebody else said it tonight. I think that and I was talking to my dad about this, he should make a video with him and Chris and apologize that way. He doesn't have to do that, but I think that would be best. Just for me personally, the Instagram. I mean, you did slap this man. That's crazy. Like, I mean, it doesn't. Chris Rock handled it like a G, but at this, well, I don't want to say that, but he handled it well. I'll just say that he handled it well. But that's humiliating, man.
He
and
handled it with dignity.
Yeah, I just think that Will Smith owes him more than an Instagram apology. I do not think that he should give up his Oscars. I think that would be completely wrong and hypocritical. I think that Will will get over this. I am not canceling Will Smith. I am still a fan. I will still support him. This man, not only has he had a squeaky clean record for 30 years, he's been the example. He's been a role model. Even other performers, actors, actresses, even if their record is squeaky clean, they're all, you can't all just look up to him, you know, Joaquin Phoenix, or I shouldn't have said that, but still, he has been squeaky clean and been motivated with knowledge and facts. And he, like he said, he's human and he made a mistake. It was a big mistake. He shouldn't have made the mistake. And I'm not trying to dismiss it. It was pretty bad. And I'm glad the cops didn't like come out there and escort him out. But at the same time, somebody should have radioed to him like, hey, bro, you got to come back here because, you know, what you did. You know what I'm saying? And so did I say, I just want to make sure I don't, because I think this is the last time we're going to be talking about this. Tyra over there packing boxes.
I know it's food. I know. That's her styrofoam. That's her styrofoam.
I also respect Denzel's words. You know, he was just like, you know, he's not gonna throw Will under the bus and just say that he gonna keep it quiet and keep it short and sweet. You know what I'm saying? And also, yeah, we talked about Lee Daniels. And then the Academy is full of it as well. They're lying. And I think that is all I have. And so everybody gave their final thoughts. And so, ladies and gentlemen, boy, if I forgot something, my bad, but I want to thank all of you so much for tuning in to the Movie News Roundup show number 55. We do this every week, 6:30 p.m. CST, YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook. And so I always have a panel of guests coming in, switching out, and all that good stuff. And before we head out of here, Larry, real quick, why don't you just let all the good people out there know real quick, what you have going on your channel, sir? On your